today was one of those situations where we didn't have physical folks here, and we knew that 3 or 4 of them are out of town, or 3 of them are. It is what it is. We'll get through it. We'll just reschedule, and when everyone's back in town, we'll redo this all over again.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Well, I feel badly for 2 things. Dr. Smiley going on vacation, hoping she thought would have a clear mind. I had my wife fly in from, did the red eye last night from her work just to be here this morning. So when there's late decisions like that, there's always repercussions and there's always collateral. So we'll work through that. It's fine. But no, these things happen, and I hope that in the near future, when I sit down in that chair, that we are very clear about our expectations and what we're doing moving forward.
This is quite a baptism for you heading into the district. What does this say about the job that lies before you whenever it begins?
So I always refer to a few things. People who love to ride roller coasters are happy to get on them. And people who are scared of them don't want to get on them. I run to fire. This is a great district. There's too many hardworking teachers, principals, bus drivers, cafeteria staff that are here, administrators that are working so hard. So they deserve someone who's going to be able to fight the fight and be there for them. I don't scare very easily. Very few things scare me. The health and welfare of my family is the only thing that scares me. After that, I'm ready for it. But this happens, and I'm not going to subscribe to any so-called articles that may come out or newscasts about conspiracies and this and that. It's not my place, and I'm not going to worry about it.
So no second thoughts?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Can you talk about what you're going to be doing now between the time you officially sign?
So obviously I'll have to call my superintendent. I have not resigned yet from Palm Beach County. I still have a lot of work to do, probably about 20 evaluations late into the night tonight to make sure they're due, because they're due by the 30th. And a lot of stuff to get ready for school. No matter where I am, it's going to be getting prepared for the children to walk in the first day. As long as you maintain that focus, everything falls in place. And that's always going to be the focus. It's not an individual. It's not about an individual. It's not about a couple of individuals. It's about children. And we're going to always keep it that way.
So Dr. Smiley said that board members Foman, Holy, and Pham were supposed to be here. Do you have any idea of why they weren't?
I have no idea. I was let know probably, John was about 17 minutes prior to the meeting. So I did not know that. If I did, obviously I would have had my wife not get on a plane in Salt Lake, but that's okay.
And just to be clear, do you worry at all that it was political?
Again, I'm not going to subscribe to any of that. You all can make those assumptions and go with that. My job is to stay focused and be ready in 2 weeks or a week when we reschedule the meeting and move on. As long as you stay focused on children, let the others do what they need to do.
Can you talk about the work that you've been doing within the district to get ready to move?
That's a great question. There's a weird line, and it's gray. I certainly don't want to get there. I've let some folks know that it wouldn't be appropriate that I meet with the assumption that I'd be superintendent. Let's wait till we're superintendent. I've certainly had conversations with a lot of folks. I've done some driving around. I drove by Rickards Middle, met with the principal there. He was in the principal forum, and walked that facility that's supposed to have a new building soon, and made sure that we're looking at a school with 70% ELL is being taken care of just like any other school. So those kids have a great school to go to.
Having lunch. Anna, do you have any thoughts?
Oh, do I have thoughts?
Do you have
You think I have thoughts?
Yes.
I always
Yes.
have thoughts.
Anna has thoughts.
Is this guy for me?
Yeah, come on.
Step over here for us.
Mario, I'm rolling.
How y'all doing today?
Hey,
What do you think happened here?
what happened here?
Well, what do I think happened here, or what did we actually see happened here? We all know what happened here. They knew this meeting was planned for 3 people that have committed to having quorum. Unless there was a dire emergency, they should have been here. We know that other people are out of the country. Could there have been probably better planning to make sure that there's a meeting where everybody is here? But when it's in the summertime, we know people have things planned, and some of our board members have out-of-the-country plans. Those are kind of hard to change. So to show what Broward does best, our new superintendent got a first-hand, bittersweet taste of it. And I think that he handled it well. I'm sure he's got a lot of things going through his mind, and there's just one thing he has in mind. I want to come into Broward, do what I said I was going to do, and make things better and move this district. Everybody says they can do it. People have been here for decades and said they can do it, but it hasn't moved. He was the outstanding candidate that got a majority vote to become our superintendent. Why they didn't show to make sure that he gets in, and then have our interim superintendent go on her, I see what she said, planned vacation. It kind of did a disservice to each of them, and to the Broward County Public Schools. We're still working, guys. Summer school's happening. Things are going on. People are getting their schools ready. You know, people are planning on school supplies. Teachers are out there. You know, besides working their summer job, they're making sure they're prepping their classrooms to get them ready. So to know that there's not a leader in place that said was going to be here is very disheartening. But this is what Broward County Public Schools has done for a while, and they do the woulda, coulda, shouldas. They do the redirects instead of just taking ownership.
Anna, you said that everyone knows what's happening here. I'm really not very intelligent, as you know.
Yes, you are, Ari.
I don't pick up on these things. What did you mean by that? Can you tell us in plain terms what you mean by that?
So the only three that clearly said I'm out of town were School Board Hickson, School Board Leonardi, and School Board Aladaf, correct?
No, Leonardi was here.
No, I say Leonardi? Nora Rubert, I apologize. So the other 6 said, I'll be here. I know there's a meeting, correct? And then 3 didn't show for whatever reason. Again, this type of level of an important meeting that, quite frankly, I've never seen them miss meetings before. I don't think I've ever seen them miss a meeting. Well, one did, Brenda Pham. She's missed quite a bit, but you know, she had allegations against her that, you know, probably should have been followed through with to see what that outcome was, but that's a whole nother story. So unless there is a serious personal reason, I don't understand why they're not here.
Is it politics? What are you implying?
Oh, those 3, it's always going to be politics. In any elected position, there's always going to be some type of politics. But at the end of the day, if they come here and say it's about the student, it's about the child, then show it. And if it really is about the child, they would have been here. We would have had our new superintendent starting. Dr. Smiley has done a service to us, and she's made it quite clear, I'm ready to move on. So, and the district is ready to move on also. Employees are ready. I mean, Broward Teachers Union had negotiations canceled on them again the other day. You know, there's other things that are happening that need to happen to make our employees, our rank and file, solid. They need to know where they stand on retention, recruitment, salary increases, working conditions,
So
and a
why
new
do you think
leader is
they didn't show
important.
up? Why do you think they didn't show up?
You know what? I don't, just because they don't have to, I don't know the answer. I'd have to ask every one of them, and hopefully they would give a truthful answer, and I would have to believe it until I was proven otherwise. But I mean, I don't know. Did anybody say the reasons? I didn't hear them.
Do you worry it's political, though, that they chose because of politics not to be here?
They always have chose politics. Everything that's been happening these past few years has been politics. In all of our turnover of board members, it's been forced upon them. We have board members that really don't want to be political. They just want to genuinely do the job, but it gets forced upon them from press, from community, from colleagues of board members, from staff, from organizations, from unions. It's just the way it is. But it doesn't mean it's right. And if everybody keeps saying, I'm here to make it right and better, stop saying it and just show it. So, and they weren't willing to schedule a new meeting, right? So we don't have the next date.
Is just to throw a monkey wrench and delay Dr. Licata, because they can't stop it at this point, right? So what would the motivation be if it's political?
I don't know what's being planned. There's always something that there's groups that are planning something because they want their own agenda filled. So that's my theory. Not a conspiracy theory, but that's a proven track record. There's always little pockets of certain groups that want what they want, and whatever they need to do to hold it off till they get what they want, that's probably the process that's happening. So I'm hoping that we'll get a meeting scheduled sooner than later, because it'd been nice to have it now, and we still have about a month and a half for summer to get accoladed. The more we push back, the closer schools are opening. That whatever our new superintendent's vision and his expertise is going to be on hold.
What kind of message does this send to Broward and people, to who hear this?
That we have people that sit in a position that don't care. They say they do, but their actions aren't always showing it. And again, I hope sincerely nothing personal happened, and if it did, then they're like, they really just don't care about our employment, because our teachers and our support staff, and I will also speak for our other employees, because when I visit schools, I intermingle with our security staff, our cafeteria staff, the transportation group, the clerical. I have to go through the point of entry. I see and talk to everyone, and they all know me, and it affects everyone, because it's not a high-paying job in any sense, from teacher down. It's not. Not even AP. It's not a high-paying job. People are showing up because we care, and we want to make a difference with children, and we're trying our best, and everything just keeps piling on, and then the uncertainty of where our leadership is makes it harder, because then it all winds up trickling down, because then it puts pressures on the principals. They have to be pressured too. And when there's pressure, it keeps pressuring on layer after layer, and then it winds up affecting, eventually, it could trickle into a classroom, which our teachers work desperately hard to make sure that doesn't happen. But at the end of the day, we're all human. Imagine your job every day, that you kept having pressure, but you're expected to be here emotionless, not having any type of a feeling because you got to get your job done, but inside you're bottled up with anger or anxiety or sadness. It can take a toll. So I think any uncertainty that continues to happen, when there was a light at the end of the tunnel that we're getting another new leader that has great experience and some great wisdom and was willing to start, and then this happened, yeah, the monkey wrench was thrown in, breaks the morale, it has uncertainty, and it's probably making pressure from all levels.
Are you worried that this could give Dr. Licata second thoughts?
No, I'm not worried. I think I could see that there's a strong, confident, experienced person, and I think if he did his homework, and it did help that he was next door, but he didn't have to be next door. We make national news all the time. My fellow union colleagues in Chicago, in Washington, in California go, what the hell's going on in Broward? We're paying attention. It is a laughing component. And we just desperately want it to stop, and I believe that he knows he has to have been paying attention, and this will hopefully give him another perspective that I just felt it real. What other people have felt, that'll give him a little bit of time to put in perspective how he can handle it, what he can do to overcome it, and professionally, respectfully, and to just make everyone feel comfortable that I'm still going to do my job, I'm going to do it great. That's what I'm expecting from him. He brought it in all of his interviews, so now he has to perform it. That's what I expect. Don't just say it, do it.
So you did have things to say. You weren't kidding.
You know, at times I'm at a loss for words.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
I mean, I was pulling in, and I go, stop it, I'm being punked. I didn't believe it. And I walk in, I'm going to tell you what I walked into, but you saw it.
I think we're good.
Thank you. No, nobody else.
How's the kids? How's the kids?
I tell you, last week, whenever it was, when I did it, it's like I was in shock. It's like I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And now it's like,
And I was like, this is
did
too
they?
good to be true.
Yeah.
Too good to be true.
Yeah.
Right here.